Today I'm going to teach you how to hack a free app, which is Google Slides. That has become my current favorite in terms of ease of use and how intuitive it is to map out a text and develop the inner image. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that ahead. We're going to open up your Google Drive and go to Google Slides and start a new blank presentation. We'll give it a quick title, Alice's Adventures. I'm going to use the text I used in a previous video, the opening to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So go ahead and delete this text here, and we're going to use primarily the object menu. I do like to use the speaker's notes on the bottom of the slide because I can actually create, so if I had one Google slide presentation, if I have it set up, one student can have their own presentation, but inside the presentation, every slide can represent a different text or different part of the text. So this slide is going to represent, it's going to be the map of the very first scene of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I prefer this shape. This is the shape I use for all characters, of this teardrop shape. I like this shape because it's got that point, which I think of as the nose, and it helps orient which way the character is facing. I could have, you can see I put the character name there, and now I'm just copying and pasting so I can create another character. But you can see I created a text separate from the object. You can just create an object and hit return to start typing the text directly into the object. But I like to actually separate the text and the object, just because when you change the orientation of the object, it would also change the orientation of the text, and I like to try to keep the orientation of the text as horizontal as possible so I can read it. So I've got Alice, I've got Alice's sister. I'm going to create a new character, and you can see now in some ways I'm just playing here. I've chosen an object that, this is the one I thought, oh, I can kind of make this like a rabbit. It's got those 2 points on the ends that looks kind of like ears, and I'm going to choose this round, here we go, this round piece here as the watch. And I'm going to add one more piece. Now, I don't know if the white rabbit had a bow tie or not, but somehow it seems to me that in my inner image, the white rabbit has a bow tie. So I'm going to find, here we go, this object here will work. And again, I'm just being creative. So this is one of the nice things about this app is there's enough choices that you can play, and not so many choices that you get overwhelmed and it gets hard to use. So I'm grouping them together, and I'm going to put the name as a separate text on top. And now I have my white rabbit. I have all 3 characters. The next thing you can do then, this is where the mapping part, working with your inner image, how are they oriented? How are they positioned in relationship to each other? So I'll start with the sister, and I'll put the sister in place and change where she's facing. Here she is. She's got her nose in a book. As we know from the opening text, I will copy the text down below if you haven't seen that text yet. And I'll add an object. This one's good. I'll add this object to represent the book she's reading, the book that Alice finds to be quite uninteresting. We'll move Alice next to her. And you can see Alice now. I'll change her orientation as well, and now I'll just have her facing forward, daydreaming, wondering what can she do to pass her time. I'm going to add some more things. So again, getting creative here And this is something you encourage your students to do. This is their inner image. So what's in their inner image? I'm going to use this to represent a river. Now, in this story, in the text, it refers to they're sitting by the bank. I just assume that to be the bank of a river. There's no specific mention of river. So, but I'm going to create a river here to represent that they are on the bank. Picking some color. And then I'll reorient the characters just a bit to make them closer to my inner image. So as I was saying, one of the things you can do here is create a different slide for each scene, or if you're doing multiple texts, for each text. Every student can have their own Google slide open and a slide, be creating the inner image for their own slides. So now we're going to go to the white rabbit, and we know that according to the text, the white rabbit comes in, hops over, at least in my inner image of the text, hops over towards Alice, and this is when the rabbit draws out that watch and talks about being late. This is when Alice becomes very curious. I'm going to add another object here. This cloud has become one of my favorite objects because it becomes many things. It becomes a cloud, but it can also be foliage. I've used it as the tops of trees. All sorts of things. I've used it as to represent something dark or mysterious. And then this I'm using to represent the rabbit hole behind the hedge. So you can see here, once I get this set up in place, that the next thing I'm going to continue illustrating the story, animating the story from my version of the inner image. And so here we go. Here's the rabbit hopping down now into the rabbit hole. Here's Alice also following the rabbit without even thinking. Her curiosity has gotten her and she's gone down the rabbit hole. And that's it. That's how you use Google Slides to make to map out an inner image. So I hope you found that helpful and that you can give it a try. It took me a little extra time to get this video out because I ended up getting sick. I got a bit of a cold, so maybe you can hear that. I apologize again for any weird audio in this particular video, but I wanted to share it with you. Make sure you had it. Have a good time with it. Give it a try and let me know how it works for you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.